3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Forex Trading Show. Forex trading live every weekday morning. Real trades, real profits, zero analysis. Set back, relax, and get ready to profit. And now, your host, Terry from FXWithTerry.com.
Good morning, live from the Las Vegas Strip. Forex trading results in... No one else is doing this. Not that I've seen. Of course, I don't know everybody or everything. We'll go over the trades. I haven't looked at a whole lot of stuff. Going to make a command decision on the high profit feed. I think you all know where I'm going with that based off the last couple days of trades. We are looking at a free signal on the screen right now, up $25.80 in unrealized net profit. We have some nice closures overnight. Not that you care, but I'm going to talk about myself for a minute. So arrived in Vegas yesterday at about 2:30. Got downtown at 3:30 because that was the goal. And I was tracking my steps, right? So I was out in the desert all winter doing 10,000 steps a day. Didn't always get to that. Did 15,000 a couple times, and it about killed me in terms of just muscle fatigue. So I just walked. I was like, I'm checking out everything. And at 15,000 steps, I actually got back to the RV exactly at 14,996 steps, and I was done, bro. I'm like, shit, I'm not going to be able to do this as hard as I thought, because I was only out about 6 hours. Gambled, played craps. It's totally different. The electronic craps games are totally different here in Vegas. Happen a lot faster, which is good. Made a couple $100, got out, had dinner at Gordon Ramsay's place. So yeah, I knew it was going to happen, right? But I'm a little worn out. So it's interesting. My desire, what I want to do when I sit down in front of the computer today, I just want to work all day. I've got 50 ideas and all kinds of different bots and systems I want to test and so on and so forth. But I'm like, you know what? Go out and just relax. So that's what I'm going to do. Looking forward to meeting whoever comes to Vegas. Next year is probably going to be all kinds of people, and this year everyone's like, well, you told me too late. And I'm like, although this is a good indicator, I'm not throwing shade on anyone. If I'm the only one I know, well, there's one other person. If me and one other person are the only people that on a few months short notice can show up in Vegas, what are you doing with your life, right? And more importantly, look what I did with mine. Although I got to admit, I've since I was 11 years old, I was developing this this life of freedom. So I'm free. Let's get into this before I bore the hell out of you with personal stuff. So FX with Terry signals free here. Did that just double in profit while we're sitting here? It actually did. It just doubled in profit while we're sitting here watching this. What a great algorithm we have. This is when the market's good, this thing pumps out money. We saw yesterday some incredible results for the week. The overall algorithm was somewhere in the 21,000 closed profit range. And that's the signal that came out, right? The signal that I show. The signal comes out at 0.01 lot size. I take them for a visual kind of emotional dopamine hit reference. I take them on my account that you're looking at here, which is really just a representation of, it's a full representation of the auto system. And I bid 1.0, which gives everyone the reference that 1.0 is 1 times what you should be bidding for your particular account. And if it goes to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 or 10, you should be bidding either, if you've bid all of the trades, if you've taken all the trades, you should be bidding all of the amounts as they increase, and the math works out. Always works out. So let's look at closure. 3 trades, 3 EUR CHF overnight. All winners. Like, is anybody impressed with any of this? Let me know. It still impresses me after, what, 2.5 going on 3 years? It still impresses me. This thing just crushes. In terms of how the market, because we know the market can go cattywampus and crazy, but this thing just handles its business, and as long as you're bidding properly, you're crushing. Terrific results. That's not a screenshot either. Look, I can open this up. Trade signals free, right? Like, this is for real. How many times do I see people with ads about Forex on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, and they're showing a screen that's all blue like this, but they're bidding instead of let me get my pen, instead of bidding 1.00, they're bidding like 100.00, like $1,000 per pip, and this says, you know, $20,000, and and you know, it's like there's the entire screen's full of that stuff. Not gonna lie to you, they're full of shit, right? In this sense, our system, the algo we're using, and look at that, I think it just cut down in half again. The price is going up, and the price is going down, and the price is going up, and the price is going down. So let's look at the chart real quick while I sit here and talk about this. What is this thing doing? It's hovering right around the buy entry, and it's wicking up and wicking down. You probably can't see that. The wick went all the way up to there and all the way down to there. So in terms of seeing other people do that, it's not that hard. You get a bot that somewhat does okay, and you just get it to go into, you know, 30 trades on an outrageously large demo account, and you wait for that moment if and when they all go into profit, and then you record it and screen capture it, right? What we have here is a damn good system that has longevity and consistency to it. We aren't winning one day and completely losing the next, but only showing the winning stuff. We are winning consistently, albeit what you have to do with my system, I'm not going to lie, you've got to bid a reasonable amount for your account size. People still continuing to come in. There's a lot of belief and trust in my system. People still continuing to come in and start tiny accounts. You know who you are, and I need to kind of speak to you personally, but someone came in the last few days, and I you know, the mentality in Forex, especially with a great system like mine, you're going to look at it and you're going to go, I'm getting rich quick. So if you're the person, you know who you are, is trading a $500 account, wanting $100 a day in profit, which is a 20% per day profit. We all know that's been trading this for, you know, longer than a year. We all know that right now the market is spitting that out, but there's going to come that one trade, that one time when a USD JPY goes so far against us. If you didn't bid properly up front and you'd been bidding for the great market that you've had delivered for the last 3 weeks, you'll lose it all. So an upfront, literally blind expectation of 20% a day on a $500 account, it's like, yes, my system can absolutely do that. Not consistently, not gonna lie. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. That's why you'll be glad to see this concept I'm going to be sharing after Vegas here. I'm going to put a video together. I will tell you that it's going to take me a little bit of time, because when I leave Vegas here, I'm doing the 3-week trek all the way across the country back to the Midwest. It's going to take me 3 weeks to do it because I'm not driving for more than 3 or 4 hours a day, right? Derek says, here, I'll put this up on the screen. Derek knows. Everything will go great until it doesn't. And it's not my system, it's the market. My system can handle and does handle, and you guys have seen it handle, these absolute batshit insane market conditions where you get, the Japanese yen, as an example, pushing so far to all-time highs or lows. You're like, oh, ooh, wow, what are we going to do here, right? Well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to overbid and take losses. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see it. I entered the bid properly on my accounts. And I'm going to do my best to mitigate whatever situation we've been handed. Typically, what it means is I'll let it push as far as it can. And here, I'm going to get really simple with you guys. You ready for simplicity? I know we talked about hedging and all that stuff. A lot of times, I'll just let it push as far as I think it can and stop the copier somewhere near the top because I bid properly. The top or the bottom, of the turn to come back towards take profit, and then I just turn it back on. If you're overbidding, you have to get out really early and or hedge, and you in those scenarios when you have to get out early because you bid way too much to begin with, you'll lose some money on that. Yeah. But if you can bid conservatively, consistently, because everybody, like right now, this week, incredible volume. The last couple weeks, great volume, great consistency. We'll look at some of the numbers that we did yesterday. But you can't be like, well, I'm going to jack my bid up to $7 million a pip and get rich overnight, because all it's going to take is that one day of that one pair going against you, a little bit farther than maybe you expected, and it's over for you. I don't want that to be, but you guys love it. You love it. You're like, here, I'm going to trade my $100 account at $10 a pip. My system does really well. It could probably handle that for a little while, but then the market comes in. Did I hedge any of those JPY trades? I did not. I typically have, again, I certainly didn't for the group, right? Everybody's bidding something different. Most people are overbidding. I typically bid well enough that in like a JPY, the USD, UJ trade, I don't hedge unless it's an absolute, man, I'm about to blow everything. Nobody expected this to happen in the market. I let it run right to its ragged edge, right? Because what happens is, you get all that volume at the top before let's say on a we're selling as the price goes up, and on that turnaround, there's enough volume at the top there where they're pushing, trying to take people out, so on and so forth, and the system will enter quite a few trades, right? I've actually done this. I'm like, I'm gonna let it run. My margin level percent is 150%. Enters a trade, I delete it. Enters a trade, I delete it. Enters a trade, I delete it. Right? I'm just sitting there watching it. And then as it comes back around, I'm like, all right, we're good. It's just that little bit of management. The hedge concept is probably only something that can work. You're still going to take a loss, but the hedge works as an absolute emergency. You overbid. You're not going to survive this one if you let it go any farther. You have to hedge, protect the account. It comes back. And because you missed all of the other entries, and typically the take profit moves past wherever your hedge is, that's the danger. And the whole basket of trades take profit. The whole thing gets shut down, and you're kind of left, right, with a trade that's above or below your take profit, and you have to take a little bit of a loss. Stop overbidding. What's overbidding? It's something that you got to get a feel for. Someone like Doug in our group, or Derek understands, or Mark understands. Here's what a realistic bid is. Although I mentioned Derek. Derek loves to overbid, but hey, it's absolute practice over time and a feel for the market. So, pause screen coming at you. And now we will move on to, let me think of the best. Let's go on to the overall real quick, because I'm going to jump around a little bit different sequence today. So overall, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 open trades, which really is kind of low. That means we've had some really nice closures. Here is the history of overnight since talking yesterday. 14,000. Hold on, let me get my pen. $1,458.08. I wish it was 14,000, right? But 1458 overnight of closed automated trades. Extremely good. Like, just phenomenal. I got to point something out here. So someone yesterday plugged right into my automated trading system, did zero practice on any demo, put it on the tiniest live account you could ever put it on, and then said, "Hey Terry, well I thought your system never lost." There's a loss there, Terry. No, sorry. If you'd like to pull up a calculator and add up all of these things, you get to see a thing at the bottom here. This $1,458.08, that's called a net profit. Okay? There's no losses. There's not a loss. This is like me giving you $1, or vice versa. Let's turn it around. You give me $1 and I give you 99 back. Did you lose anything? If you're not paying attention, you don't have a calculator, you didn't do basic math, then you lost $1. But you actually gained 98 back, right? And now you got 99. I'm sorry, you got 99 back. The point is, you didn't lose anything. However you look at that, glass half full, half empty, whatever the case may be. You didn't lose anything. So I had to explain that to people. What's interesting is this is mind-boggling to your average person, because they just have been either losing forever or become comfortable with losing. That's not a loss, right? Euro Chief made up for any of that loss with all of these other wins, right? It did. So that is not a loss. A loss is when you're down here at the bottom. I know it's the same shit every day, right, guys? So this is called nothing but net. Nothing but net profit. You look at the overall system. I mean, imagine having a loss of $5,000 sometime during the year, but at the end of the year you've made $100,000, and all you do is show everybody your bruise, your 500,000. I lost 5,000. Well, you did. So a lot of it, a lot of what I'm saying here is mindset. Like, do you have the right mindset? I'm also going to kind of be a dick and say this. It's an IQ issue. I've always said it's so important. That's not a cut on anybody. You're basically born with a certain IQ. You don't go around and increase your IQ or decrease your IQ. You're born with a certain IQ. You probably, as a human being, should know your place and go out and take 3 IQ tests and take the best score, right? I always say that. And know your place. Know your place. The Army will not recruit anyone at an 83 IQ or less. You can't peel potatoes in the kitchen. You can't wash dishes effectively with an 83 IQ or less. Army, the military, the Army, I was in the Army. The military has proven that. They've created the ASFAB test, right? ASFAB test. I don't even know what the Armed Services something. It's an IQ test. They've been giving it out for 100 years. They know exactly what score on your IQ test when you go into the military of where you fit. That's why after taking the ASFAB test, they give you a little bit of a list of what you can do, because they've IQ'd that. They've IQ'd that. Someone thinks I'm funny. I think that's Josh or Joshua. Bah ha ha ha. You so right. Listen, I'm not being a dick. But I'll give you an example. Let's say you take an IQ test and you got an 80. And you come to something like this. You have to go, you know what? I relinquish my decision making to the system and to the people that are, that have 160 IQ. 163 to be exact. Just it's okay. Right? If you have a 200 IQ, awesome. Help me out here. Right? But it's an IQ issue. Drive down the street. And last night I was in an Uber in a Tesla, and some guy just merges right into us. I mean, he came an inch from hitting us, right? And I'm like, IQ. That's IQ, right? I don't care if we were in their blind spot, because there could have been that possibility. Fucking turn your head. IQ makes you turn your head around, because you know what? There's a blind spot. But people that don't know, with a low IQ, they don't know to turn their head and check, because there's a blind spot. It's really simple. Like life is a blind spot, right? Go figure out your IQ. I think it's important. I wish I could be a jerk enough to go, listen, you can't buy my service unless you have at least 115 IQ. I'm probably losing customers as I'm talking right here. Whatever, you're getting my real personality. You put stuff like this out there into the world, and people with a 70 IQ come in and they're like, yeah, I hooked this to my $14 account looking to double it every day. Okay, it's an IQ issue. That's all it is. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to look at the overall. I'm going to pause. We're going to look at the overall. That was the overall. Really nice volume for the day. In fact, let me come back. I want to look at one other thing before I do that. So we've seen 1,458 closure. If you go for the week, 25,304 closure for the week. For the last, looking back the last 7 days, 5 days. 5 days on market. Like, guys, if you're not doing well with this, you just aren't paying attention. And I get that this is all of the trades, right? Guess what? We call it the premium signals feed, because that's the intent behind it, is to take my total system and put it on a 100K demo account and be able to see through walls. You can see what the entire algorithm is doing, because it's smarter than me, it's smarter than you. It's robotic, it's mathematics, it's neural network, it's machine learning, right? Joshua says, yeah, you're fine. You'd save yourself a lot of hassle. You know what? I wouldn't have a business if I IQ limited people, because yeah, it's a tough game out here. All right, so I probably lost my train of thought there. Let's go to the next account. What we're going to look at here is the 10 pip hybrid coupled with my high profit feed. So to me, that is the ultimate system. The ultimate system is a 10 pip hybrid, which is a hybrid system. We trade non-crossing currency pair groups from my main algorithm. So we tier it down. We do a subset of currency pairs at any given time. We've been in this particular group, whatever group this is, I don't know. I could look, doesn't matter. We've been trading this for at least a week. Now, there are 2 trades open, and if I go to the history, I'm going to show you a couple things. So here is this less than the overall, $1,400 that the total system made last night? Absolutely. But this is steady, secure profits over time, avoiding the big, currency cross runaways where Japanese yen runs away and then all the JPY pairs are raping your account, right? Like, that's no fun. But if you look at this, we got a GBP USD sell trade that went into profit. I'm going to talk about this gold buy limit. Euro JPY, we got a couple of those CAD Chief, and then another buy limit. And I think you know where I'm going here. So these buy limits on the high profit feed are not working out. I know there's people that like them, so on and so forth. They're not working out. Because the price literally goes within a pip or two of that area and then launches. So we've missed essentially 4 profitable trades so far by having these limit orders. It's 6 of 1, half does. You can't win for losing, right? So let's go look at gold. So $22.95 is the price there. And it did not launch. So let's go look at gold. Let me find gold in the list here. Pull up the chart. What did I say? 22.95, 22, god damn it, 22.95. Let me zoom out a little bit here and see. I'm going to put a line on the screen and then we'll look at the price. So what I'm going to do is hold it and I'm going to put it at, I'm going to change the properties to 22.95. So stand by while I'm 22.95 done. Okay. So we had a buy limit. If I come back here to the trade, it was a buy limit. Yes. 22.95. So I'm trying to think where we were. It had to be either here or here where the price didn't quite reach. Then it went past, take profit was like here. Okay. Didn't get that one. Had we just did a market entry, market execution, it would have been a great trade, right? So let's go back and look at the other one. So the other one is this buy limit at 22.85. If I come back to the chart, 22.85. Let me alter this real quick. So we were at 22.95, 22.85. It's not really much difference. All right, let me look here. Man, that is not what I want. There we go. If you look at it, the next one, the wick came within a pip of launching, and then it basically would have been right here. And look, I believe it went to TP3. You can't predict this stuff. So if we zoom in on that, I don't know if you can actually see. It literally came within a pip. Came within a pip. Unbelievable. Then it launched and I was like, you can't predict it. So I'm just going to turn it into market execution. I know Mark likes the pending orders, you know, or the buy limits. It's not working because here's the thing. I wake up in the morning going, well, I could have had a bunch of profits, but because I didn't want to sit there and manually deal with it overnight, right? Okay, good. So I got some agreement there. Mark says, after seeing them continue to not launch, I would agree. Just take the market execution. Yeah. Let's see. What'd you say here? I actually entered that signal manually, and it hit the TP for a $100 profit. Yeah. Yeah, because I know you're paying attention, but especially this morning, last night, I was like, I need some sleep because I'm going to be down on the Vegas Strip all day. So, yeah, I'm going to turn that into market execution. Let me pull this up here. Could you program the bot to buy at a market, then the mid? See, everybody said that. I get it. So that's what's called curve fitting, right? There's no way to know what it's going to do. Like, it's hard for me to describe the AI system. It's like you might as well just market execute. right? You might as well just market execute. You're in the trade, and yeah, I just don't think there's any ultimate price. It's kind of hard for me to describe. I can't put it in words. I can say this from my testing and the concept. It was a pain in the ass to get it to launch at the best price on the buy limit orders. Adding a couple pips to that or something is possible. I'm going to look at it, but now we're trying to curve fit for the current market. We might as well just execute the trade. Just execute the trade. That's what I'm going to do. I believe that is us looking at everything. The gold scalper is going well. I did a trial of that AI system, so I need to up that. The NAS is like a bunch of losses and then a big win. I just don't think I would want to put that out publicly to anybody. You don't want to lose $600 in a row and then make a $6,000 profit. It's just too risky it's too risky as a public facing type of thing. So I'm still playing with it a little bit and put a lot of time into it and cost in terms of developing the algorithm, but it's just not at the level that I want it to be. So I see you guys talking in the group. Let me go look at what you're talking about here. So I think it's Joshua. All right, so let me kind of answer this. Joshua says, has anybody been running the whole premium feed on a live account for more than a month? Yes, all of us, right? And that is where you get in trouble, because that live premium feed, basically the entire algorithm on an account, when you get a pair like Japanese yen that starts to push against, it goes against on so many 3-4 different currency pairs that even if you're bidding a 0.01 on a 10K account, it will squeeze that thing right to the absolute limits. And you're not going to, in these awesome markets, you're not going to be happy at you could be, you should be, but you're not going to be happy with 0.01 lot size running all 22 currency pairs on a 10K account. You're just not going to be happy with it. You're going to be like, oh my God, I could be making so much more money. Then the moment you jack that thing up and you get all of these currency pair crosses that just go deep, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 deep into what's called recovery, it's almost impossible to manage. Yet if you're doing a subset like the 10 pip hybrid, listen, we traded the entire algorithm for at least a year and a half. And there were some tumultuous times. A couple times. GJ, UJ would just like run 35 trades deep on a Tuesday morning in July or August. And we're like, whoa, what the hell's happening, right? So let me kind of read some of the... Mark says, I've been running it for 2 years. Yeah, Mark is like on top of it though. Like Mark's a professional trader, right? Mark can handle it. Josh says, how long have I been sharing the feed? I've had this feed, Jesus. I've had this feed for at least 3 years. I've been sharing it for probably 2 of them, right? So Mark says, I've been doing this for a while, so I sort of have my own setup on all 22 pairs. Yeah, Mark has a very custom setup, and because he's been playing this from the beginning, and I've been doing a running commentary on it from the beginning of, okay, well, here's what happens in these market conditions. Here's what we should do. Maybe we should try this. I kind of got tired of all of the just mental mumbo jumbo of trying to perfect it when truly the perfection of it is the 10 pip hybrid. Right? Either that or running the entire algorithm on... It can push a 10K account pretty hard a few times a year. But if you run the entire algorithm on... I'm just going to guess here. On about a 20K account, the end of the year is going to look extremely well for you. It is. And it's also going to feel really well because you're emotionally stable about it. Even when you get all the Japanese yen pairs pushing against you, got a 20K account bidding 0.01, you're making great money. It's not taxing the account at all. It's that mentality that, you know, no one's willing. Everybody wants to get rich overnight. Everybody wants, you know, 4,000% a day returns. I get it, but it will ruin you, and I just don't want you to be ruined. Once you understand the concept of compounding your money and the compounding concept over time, that's when Forex starts to really, really make some sense when you understand it. And the sense that I'll be making of all of this on my trek back to the Midwest, once I release my main video of here's what I'm doing, here's what I've been doing, here's my mentality. And I have to say it out loud because I see so many other people doing completely the opposite and losing their entire account, you know, and all they want to say to me is, "What happened, Terry?" What do you mean, what happened? You didn't pay attention. You put my entire algorithm on a tiny account. You don't really know what you're doing. You don't know how to back out of something when you've bid too much or it's trading too much. You know, so, you know, that's why I created the 10 pip hybrid. I use it. You should use it. We can go ahead and look at the overall system and use that as a kind of seeing through walls. And if you're a manual trader, you can jump into some of those trades as you see them playing out. You know, as you see a pair go 10 deep, and then the last 3 are all in profit, you potentially got some pretty damn good chance of jumping in. It's telling you the right direction. It's telling you where the TP is, right? Unless, of course, it backs out against you, and that can happen too. But a lot of it is letting it play out. So Mark says, if you're doing it all on one account, I would not run all 22 pairs. I would choose 6 to 9 at a reasonable lot size. Yep, that is years and years of experience that Mark is saying out loud there. Because if you put my entire algorithm on an account right now, on a 10K account, and set it at $1 lot size, you'd be like, we're crushing it. And then all of a sudden, in May, on a beautiful Tuesday morning, you'll wake up and go, margin level percent's 150. What's happening? Why did USD JPY go 44 trades deep? I don't know what's happening. Terry, your system sucks. Yeah, not really. You know, because until you experience that and that emotional, mental meltdown pain, should have seen me. What was it, last August when we had that happen? And we had all of these absolute newbies have my entire algorithm on 10K accounts, and they were bidding a minimum 0.07 lot size. Some of them were bidding twice that, 3 times that. One guy was bidding 35 times that. I actually had to manage dozens and dozens of accounts myself to keep, because I was like, guys, you got to do this. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do that. What's my login for my account? And I went, oops, I fucked up. These people were never going to pay attention. I couldn't teach them anything. What they perceive this as is that I'm their financial advisor and I'm trading their account. So I saved everybody's account. And I think when I say saved it, I saved $10,000 accounts from absolute ruin with about an $800 loss. And it was the hardest I've ever worked at Forex in my life. And I went, oops, we got to change something here. Because people they hear 10% a month and they're like, oh, Terry's my financial manager. I'm like, no, I'm not. In fact, I shouldn't even be doing that for you. What are you talking about? Like, you haven't watched any of the videos? You haven't, you know, I was going live. I was sharing videos. They were like, nope, you're just trading my account for me. Thanks, Terry. I'm like, wait, no, I'm not. You know, so that was tough. And then K in the market, and they were overbidding on all of their accounts. Of course, it was like, what's happening, Terry? Why is the algorithm not working? I'm like, it's completely working, right? You've overbid. And they were down. They, you know, somebody had $100,000 account and it was $70,000 in drawdown. And I'm like, okay, you know, and I think they came out of it with a $20,000 loss. And I'm like, Okay. Now, unfortunately for that person just was like, I'm done. Can't do this no more. Right? Whereas imagine how much they've lost out on if they just kept going and did it conservatively. And now with the 10 pip hybrid feed, which you absolutely can bid a little bit more than you normally would because it's just that much more stable, and or the high profit trades. So, all right, enough of my rant. Appreciate you guys asking that. I'm probably going to, I have to implement, listen, all of this is an implementation to protect you, the customer. Now, I could be a jerk and say it's an implementation to protect the low IQ, right? And I'm not saying you, but like I said, people that come in that have these outrageous expectations, you really should look at this as your own personally managed investment account. And your average investment advisor is what? Doing 8 to 10% a year? Maybe on a good year? Sometimes minus 10, minus 15, 20% on a bad year. On a year, I didn't say a day, I didn't say a week, I didn't say an hour. You can do extremely well if you, I'll end with this, understand the concept of compounding your money over time. And your money does not compound well over time, my friends, if you blow it out in a fucking week trying to get rich. Mark says, all it takes is one runaway pair and boom, account blown. That's it. Especially if you can't manage it, right? And even me knowing the system and knowing how to manage, it can get tough if I'm on the front being stupid and trying to get rich in a market like we have right now. Certainly if I increase my bids in a market like I have now, I don't keep them for very long. I get in because what I'm trying to do is pump the profits up a little bit more, get out. I'm not going to rest on my laurels. I'm not going to get comfortable. And then at the end of the year, my P&L statement, just a little bit more than it would have been. And Doug says, agree. Okay, that's it. I'm here working for a little bit. I'm going to head down to the strip and have a little bit more relaxed day. My God, 20,000 steps in one day just about kills me. So let's stop it there. I will see you tomorrow morning, which is, it's Thursday already. Tomorrow is Friday, May 3rd. I will see you there. Hit me up in the group. And I think the thing that I was going to say is, I probably need to, and again, we're evolving this, but I probably need to set up something to where when someone purchases the automated feed, and I will do this, all of it is learning as you go, right? I love to grab a box of airplane parts and jump off the side of the cliff, and as I'm falling down, I like to put the pieces together and get the wing built, and maybe a tail so I got some stability, and so I can just kind of like bounce off the rocks. I get a few cuts on the way, but that's how I build a business. That's how I've run my life, right? Like, you just take the leap and you fail along the way. And the best thing for me to do is create some sort of video that says, great, welcome, appreciate you signing up for the automated feed. Here's what you can expect. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is a very unique system. You need to put this on a demo account for at least a couple weeks. So you can look at the trades first. You know you got your settings right. You can look at the trades and say to yourself, I understand how these work now, right? And I love the trust that you guys give me. You come in and literally sign up for the automated feed within 3 days because of the praise I'm getting everywhere. And then you're like, what happened? Well, what happened was you just, you pay attention. It's life. There's things to learn. There's things you don't know. The problem is there's mind viruses floating around. Someone says, so you don't set a stop loss after they've been taking my automated trades for 3 days. I'm like, what? No, we don't. Well, how can you trade without a stop? Okay. You should have been on demo, right? You should have been on demo. This whole, I lost $300. No, actually, if you look at your P&L, it was minus $300 plus $400. You made $100. Well, it's not enough for me. What? What do you mean it's not enough for you? I've been trading for 2 days. So it's just weird ass people that, and I'm not giving anybody a hard time. It's like just kind of like blind, doing shit blindly, right? It's like driving down the road with a blindfold on, hoping that you just bounce off some things. Hope this works, right? Remember, when I jump off the cliff, I actually have a box full of airplane parts that's complete. And guess what? I know how to fly an airplane. And I know the dynamics of the airplane. You see my analogy? I didn't say you, who's never flown an airplane, should just take my box of airplane parts and jump off the cliff and build it on the way down, because you don't even know how an airplane acts if it doesn't have a tail. Does it pitch forward or does it pitch up? Does it pitch down or does it pitch up? Anybody want to answer that? If you are flying an airplane and you remove a tail from the airplane, which way does it pitch? Up or down? If you don't know those things, it's the same thing as jumping into my system without knowing that, well, you don't set a stop loss? Well, this is a loss. You said there's a no loss system. That's not a loss. It's called a nothing but net. Nothing but net profit. You guys want to go look that up? Which way does the airplane pitch when the tail falls off? Up or down? Right? So it's the same thing with understanding my system. I'm going to put a video together that says, welcome. Please trade this on demo. There are nuances that you wouldn't understand if I explained them to you up front until you see them. Trade it on demo. Get a feel. Don't put this on your live money. You'd be dumb to do so. You'd be a low IQ person to do so. I don't know if I'll put it that way, but probably a little bit. All right, so I'll let you go. Appreciate you watching. I will see you tomorrow morning, live from the Vegas Strip. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us on the Forex Trading Daily Live Show. Get access to all of the free trades with full auto trading at fxwithterry.com. Be sure to subscribe and get notified of the daily live stream. And get ready for your next profitable Forex trade.